In the rural landscapes of colonial Virginia, a leader was born. Amidst the vast tobacco fields and the simple life of a farming family, the future first president of the United States, George Washington, took his first breath on February 22, 1732. The son of a prosperous planter, Augustine Washington, and his second wife, Mary Ball Washington, young George was introduced to a life of labor and commitment from an early age. The Washingtons were a family of tobacco farmers, bound to the rhythm of the seasons and the unpredictability of nature. But when George was just 11 years old, a profound change swept through his life. The sudden death of his father left the family in a precarious situation. The responsibility of the tobacco farm fell on the young shoulders of George, a life-altering event that shaped his resilience and resourcefulness. But amid the hardship, a beacon of strength and wisdom shone brightly in his life: his mother, Mary. Her influence on George was profound, molding his character and instilling in him a strong sense of duty and integrity. Though formal schooling was not a luxury afforded to him, George's thirst for knowledge remained unquenchable. He developed a keen interest in mathematics and surveying, skills that would later prove instrumental in his career as a surveyor and military leader. His informal education, rooted in practicality and hands-on experience, laid the foundation for his pragmatic approach to leadership. In the verdant valleys of Virginia, amidst the toil and turbulence, a leader was being shaped. Each challenge faced and overcome, every lesson learned, was a stepping stone on his journey. George Washington, the young Virginian, was unknowingly on a path that would shape an entire nation. The story of his life is not just a tale of personal triumph, but the birth of a leader whose legacy continues to inspire millions. This young Virginian was unknowingly on a path that would shape an entire nation. As a young man, Washington found his calling in the untamed wilderness of the American frontier. The vast, untamed landscapes, the rugged terrains, the silently flowing rivers, all were his canvas, his classroom. Armed with a compass and a keen eye, young George Washington embarked on a career as a surveyor, mapping out the new world for future settlers. This was not just a job, but an education in the harshest of classrooms, where every day was a lesson in survival and strategy. But Washington was not destined to remain a surveyor. The wilds of the American frontier were a theater of conflict, a stage for the grand drama of the French and Indian War. It was here, amidst the clash of empires, that Washington received his baptism of fire. As a young officer in the British Army, he experienced the realities of warfare, the chaos of battle, the bitter taste of defeat, and the sweet triumph of victory. These early engagements were more than mere skirmishes in the wilderness. They were the crucible in which Washington's leadership skills were forged and tested. He learned to lead men under the harshest conditions, to make tough decisions in the face of adversity, to strategize and adapt. He learned the value of discipline and the importance of morale. He saw firsthand the consequences of ill-preparedness and the benefits of meticulous planning. And perhaps most importantly, Washington learned the art of perseverance. In the wilderness, he faced numerous setbacks, but he pressed on, ever resilient. He learned to turn failures into lessons, to see every setback as a setup for a comeback. This was the education of a future commander, an education not in the halls of academia, but in the school of hard knocks. So remember, it was not in the halls of power, but in the wilds of the American frontier that George Washington found his calling. It was here, in the heart of the wilderness, that a future leader was shaped, a future president was molded, and a future nation was envisioned. In the crucible of frontier warfare, a future commander was forged. With the stirrings of revolution, Washington stepped into the political arena. The American Revolution was not just a war, it was a fight for independence, a struggle for freedom, and the birth of a nation. At the heart of it all was George Washington, a man who had already proven himself in the wilderness and was now ready to lead his countrymen into battle. Appointed as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army in 1775, Washington was tasked with an enormous challenge. He had to transform a ragtag group of civilians into a disciplined fighting force, capable of standing toe-to-toe with the formidable British Army. But Washington was not just a military leader. He was a beacon of moral fortitude, guiding his men through the darkest times. His strategic decisions were instrumental in shaping the course of the revolution. From the daring crossing of the Delaware River on Christmas night in 1776 to the grueling winter at Valley Forge, Washington's leadership was a constant, guiding light. His resilience was unwavering, even in the face of overwhelming odds. He never lost sight of the ultimate goal, independence. And his faith in the cause was infectious, inspiring his men to press on, even when victory seemed out of reach. The culmination of Washington's leadership came in 1781 at the Battle of Yorktown. Here, Washington's strategic genius shone brightly as he coordinated a decisive victory that effectively ended the war. But perhaps his most significant contribution was not on the battlefield, but in the hearts and minds of his countrymen. His resolve, his courage, and his unwavering commitment to the cause of freedom served as a rallying cry for a nation on the brink of birth. From the ashes of revolution, a new nation emerged, and Washington was unanimously elected as its first leader. His legacy was not only as a victorious general, but as a visionary leader who set the stage for the democratic principles that continue to guide the United States today. His fight was not just for independence, but for a nation built on the ideals of liberty and justice for all. In the nascent nation's highest office, Washington set the course for the future. His presidency was a voyage into uncharted waters, with the Constitution providing only a general outline of the office's powers and duties. Washington, with his characteristic wisdom and foresight, would fill in the blanks. His first precedent, the inaugural address, was a heartfelt speech that offered a vision for the country. In it, he humbly accepted the immense responsibility before him and pledged his unswerving dedication to the nation. Next, Washington established the presidential cabinet. Recognizing the enormity of his role, he sought the counsel of brilliant minds. He convened the first United States cabinet, including luminaries like Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton. This assemblage of advisors would prove instrumental in guiding his presidency and shaping the nation's policy. One of the most enduring precedents Washington set was the two-term limit for the presidency. Despite having the opportunity to serve indefinitely, he chose to step down after 2 terms. This decision, rooted in his belief in the principles of republicanism and his fear of monarchy, became an unwritten rule until the 22nd Amendment solidified it into law in the mid-20th century. Throughout his presidency, Washington navigated a myriad of foreign and domestic challenges. He deftly managed relations with European powers, maintained neutrality during the French Revolution, and suppressed the Whiskey Rebellion, demonstrating his commitment to upholding federal law. But perhaps the most significant aspect of his presidency was the way he carried himself in office. Washington was conscious of the fact that every action he took would set a precedent. He conducted himself with a blend of authority and humility, setting a high standard for future presidents. As he bid farewell to public life, Washington left behind a blueprint for presidential leadership. His farewell address, a poignant letter to the American people, encapsulated his vision of a united, prosperous nation. It was a parting gift from a leader who had given so much to his country, a testament to his enduring legacy. Behind the public figure, Washington led a rich private life and left an enduring legacy. Beneath the mantle of leadership, George Washington was a devoted husband and a man deeply connected to the land. His marriage to Martha Custis, a wealthy widow, brought him comfort and stability. Together, they created a vibrant social life at Mount Vernon, their beloved plantation home. Mount Vernon was more than just a residence. It was a testament to Washington's character. His meticulous management of the estate reflected his disciplined nature, while his innovative agricultural practices showcased his forward-thinking mindset. Here, Washington wasn't just the first president. He was a farmer, a visionary, and a family man. After serving 2 terms as president, Washington longed for a quieter life. He returned to Mount Vernon, where he devoted his time to managing his lands and enjoying the company of his wife, Martha. These post-presidency years were a time of peaceful reflection for Washington, a well-earned respite after decades of public service. But even in retirement, Washington's influence remained profound. His farewell address, a thoughtful treatise on the dangers of political factionalism and foreign alliances, served as a guiding light for future leaders. His wise words echoed through the halls of power, shaping the nation's course for years to come. And then, on a chilly day in December of 1799, at the age of 67, George Washington passed away. His final words, "'Tis well," encapsulated his peace with his life's journey and the legacy he left behind. His death marked the end of an era, but the beginning of his immortal legacy. Today, Washington's influence is seen in every corner of American life. His steadfast leadership, moral integrity, and devotion to the principles of democracy continue to inspire countless generations. His life's journey complete, Washington's legacy was now etched into the annals of American history. His story serves as a reminder of the indomitable spirit of America's foundational figure, a testament to the enduring power of his ideals. More than 2 centuries later, Washington's impact continues to resonate. The echoes of his leadership reverberate in the halls of power, in the classrooms of our schools, and in the hearts of the American people. His story, one of humble beginnings, relentless determination, and unwavering leadership, is fundamentally interwoven with the narrative of our nation. The lessons from Washington's life are as relevant today as they were in the 18th century. His commitment to the principles of liberty and justice, his dedication to service, and his insistence on putting the needs of the nation before his own personal ambitions are lessons that continue to guide us. Washington's character, a blend of integrity, courage, and humility, set the gold standard for those who would follow in his footsteps. His leadership was not born from a desire for power, but from a sense of duty, a commitment to the ideals of a fledgling nation. His presidency set precedents that still guide the office today. His decision to step down after 2 terms established a tradition of peaceful transfer of power, a cornerstone of American democracy. His farewell address, with its warnings against political factionalism and foreign entanglements, remains a touchstone for political discourse. And his legacy? It's visible in every corner of the country he helped to shape. From the Washington Monument that pierces the sky in our nation's capital, to the images of him that adorn our currency, to the countless towns, cities, and counties that bear his name. But his most enduring legacy is perhaps the nation itself, a country built on the foundations he laid, a testament to his vision, leadership, and sacrifice. In the story of George Washington, we find the story of America itself, a tale of resilience, of courage, of the relentless pursuit of a more perfect union. As we reflect on his life and legacy, we are reminded that the ideals he championed, liberty, justice, and the pursuit of the common good, remain at the heart of our national identity. In the story of George Washington, we find the story of America itself. As the sun sets over Mount Vernon, we're reminded of the timeless influence of America's foundational figure. George Washington, a man of humble beginnings, rose to become the cornerstone of a nation. His life weaves a narrative of perseverance and leadership, setting the stage for what America would become. His strategic mind navigated the turbulent waters of the American Revolution, and his moral fortitude shaped the presidency. These monumental achievements echo through history, a testament to Washington's enduring legacy. Yet it's not just the grand gestures that define him. His love for mathematics, his dedication to his family, and his stewardship of Mount Vernon all speak to a man of depth, character, and integrity. We encourage you to reflect on Washington's life and legacy. Consider how his actions over 2 centuries ago continue to shape the world we live in today. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of George Washington. Remember to share, comment, and subscribe for more historical explorations. Until next time, keep exploring the past to understand the present.